I'm so happy being this year with you. I missed faces. 2 years ago it was only online, but it is nothing more precious like being together, face to face. Okay, in the beginning of my testimony, I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever been in a spiritual wilderness? When you thought that you are left alone and forgotten by God? Have you ever thought about why God allows us wilderness in the life of His children? I want to share with you the most difficult time in my life, my spiritual wilderness. But before I do that, I just want to mention 2 examples from the Bible about people who had experienced that. First, this is people of Israel. Their life in Egypt came to the end. And God promised them a promised land full of blessings. But this land did not come overnight. In between Egypt and this promised land, there was a wilderness. And why? Why did they had to experience this wilderness? God wanted to use that time to come close to them, to make contact with them, relationship with them. It was a preparation time for the next phase in their lives. The other person is David. We know his story, David's story. When Samuel anointed David, David to be a king, he could not sit the next day to the throne. First, he had to flee because Saul was after him. And he spent many years in wilderness. So his previous life was ended, the childhood, the safe life, and now he is in a wilderness. And what we see about him, the most beautiful songs, poems were coming out from his heart in a wilderness. God was close to him. God was with him. The wilderness is a hard place, dry, dangerous, lack of comfort. And this is what happened in my life. Let me share my story now. I was a pastor's wife for 35 years. We were leading churches. I had some mission what I was doing beside that, helping my husband, being his wife. And we had lots of plans. We made plans for the next 20 years, how we will spend our old age. When we officially go to retirement years, and suddenly my husband was diagnosed by cancer. And 13 months later, he died. God took him home. My ministry of 35 years was finished from one day to another. I found myself in a desert, in a wilderness, spiritual wilderness. And because of this pain and disappointment, I could not, and I didn't want to hear God. I thought God is far away from me. He does not love me because he took my husband home. I fell in a deep depression. I was sad, I was angry, I was full of questions. And I didn't let people tell me God loves me, God is close to me. I refused that. But it is so beautiful that we have a loving Father. And my father never came to me saying, I was with you 35 years. Come on, get up. What's happening with you? No. He did not rebuke me. He left me in my grief. And slowly, very, very slowly, things started to change. And my relationship with God began to change. Now, after 3 years in my wilderness, I am ready to enter into the destiny designed by God. And I think I am ready to embrace the change that He has for me. Recently, God just showed me, look around in your churches. And I did. Who is in majority? Lord, these are women. Count among these women how many widows you have in a church. And when I did, it came out it is 12% of the church population. And God told me, this is just one church. Who will take care about these widows who are in their own wilderness, going around and around, in their pain, in their grief? Who will tell them about me? And who will encourage them that they have potential, and I have planned with them. And they can go out to reach other widows. And they can be a revival because of the widows. Yes. And I am praying for that. And I took these words very, very seriously. Now, when we go back to Israel and David story, and we compare these two lives, the life before wilderness and the life after wilderness, what we see is the life after wilderness much, much more blessed, much, much more used by God than before. I also want to believe that the new season of my life will be much more blessed and beautiful. And this is also true for you if you are right now in your wilderness. God is there. God is here, preparing us for the next step. And we just need to look at Him and believe that the best is yet to come. God bless you all. Yeah.